everyone. Thanks for joining us. We have Tammy Mason with A Touch of Love in-home care. And one of the things we've discovered about Tammy is that she's so passionate about helping people and understanding the disease that they're struggling with. And today she wanted to talk about Parkinson's disease and how that affects people in their home and stuff like that. So Tammy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Laurel. Thank you. I'm so appreciative of this opportunity to be on this live with you. I totally appreciate it. And again, thank you so much.
Well, and we thank you for educating people because it's pretty tough. You know, there's a lot going on. So what are the common symptoms of Parkinson's? How do we recognize that we're dealing with somebody maybe we didn't realize they had Parkinson's? Talk to me about how that affects people.
Okay, well, one of the things that I like to do as an in-home care agency is have our caregivers trained on 12 specific senior diagnoses, such as hip replacement, Alzheimer's, and one of them is Parkinson's disease. So some of the common symptoms of Parkinson's disease include tremors or shaking, stiffness or rigidity muscles, slow movement, difficulty with balance and or coordination. So sometimes even changes in their speech and writing can cause, it's a hard time for them.
Right. Also, and they're unsteady too. They could fall.
Yeah, they can definitely fall. So even fall risk, being a fall risk goes into play with Parkinson's as well. So some of the other symptoms, they may also include loss of smell, interruption of sleep, mood changes, and even cognitive impairment. So we always want to follow up with our doctors if we have any of these symptoms coming along, just to be on the safe side. That way we can try to catch it at an early stage.
Right. That's one of the reasons why having our home health care people educated in different issues of what to look for, right? Because sometimes they're with them. What causes Parkinson's? What is that about?
Honestly, there is no exact cause for Parkinson's disease. It's not yet fully understood, but it is believed to be caused by a combination of genetic and or environmental factors, meaning the loss of dopamine that is being produced in the brain cells. So dopamine is a neurotransmitter that helps with coordination and movement, which is why these cells deteriorate or die are still being researched. So there's not really a definite answer as to Parkinson's or how it's caused.
Is there a test for it, or is this one of those symptom ones?
There is no test, honestly. And I was going to answer that in a further question, but there is no test. The doctors may use MRIs or CT scans or even medical history.
Well, I am often wondering, what is it like for people if they have Parkinson's? What's life like for them?
Their daily activities can be limited. If it's at an early stage, they still have time before it gets to that later stage. But it also depends on the person. So the different lifestyle changes or lifestyle differs from person to person. So someone may find out later on, or someone may find out earlier and prepare themselves for it. But the tremors, the muscles, all of it just differs from person to person. But yeah, their activities of daily living become slim to none, sometimes maybe even bedbound.
Mm-hmm. And you said sometimes there's like verbal, they can't talk or express themselves, or they might have cognitive, they might not understand what's happening to them.
Definitely. And even from my own research, I found out that Parkinson's can also go into early stages of dementia as well. So it can also go into that brain, the memory triggers. Yeah, it's actually from research of my own, it's a disease that no one is really prepared for, which is why it's good to raise awareness on it.
Right. Can they help people with that have that? Is there a good treatment for? people with Parkinson's?
There is medication for Parkinson's. The medications that help manage the symptoms, it's basically something for the dopamine levels in the brain,
Oh,
um, or deep brain stimulation. And deep brain stimulation means that they're implanting electrodes into specific areas of the brain. And this is often recommended for those who's at a later stage of Parkinson's.
okay. So they
Mhm.
work with the dopamine levels. They try to keep you going. How
Yes.
can we support somebody who has, I mean, as a caregiver, what should we be looking for? How can we help people that have Parkinson's?
As a care, well, for one, the family, or yeah, as a caregiver, families would definitely always follow up with the doctors. Pay attention to their loved ones, because sometimes, dealing with elderly or someone who has Parkinson's, they don't really want to tell you specifically what's going on with them. They try to hide it, because I don't want to say they're embarrassed about needing help, but sometimes they don't want too much help. They're stubborn, if that makes
Well,
sense.
and they're afraid of losing their
And they're
independence,
afraid,
right?
and yeah, their independence. They're afraid of losing their independence.
Yeah. Because I can only imagine if I started trembling and forgetting things or not being able to get things done or feeling unsteady in my feet, I'd be afraid people are going to take my car from me or restrict my activity or want to take care of my checkbook,
Yes,
things like that, right? I mean, it could be really
definitely.
scary too.
It can.
People get angry when they're scared too. It makes it worse, probably, huh?
It does. It does. Honestly, even for me now, just thinking about someone taking my car keys away from me, telling me I can't drive, it does. It feels scary, because you are taking something away from me that I've been able to do for so many years. And now you're telling me I can't. But also, we want to let them know that this is for their safety as well.
Mhm. Right.
So their caregivers, their loved ones, just really being there for them and trying to understand what they are going to would really help that person or their loved one.
Yeah, I can imagine that it takes kind of a special thoughtfulness and skill and love to help someone who's going through something that's scary.
Mhm.
And this disease progresses over time, but it doesn't like progress the same rate for everybody, right?
No, yes, for everyone. There's four different stages actually. You have the early stage, the moderate, advanced, and the late stages. So there's four different stages of it, but you have to pay attention too. So that way you can prepare for that later stage. So you definitely should pay attention to the signs and symptoms when they come along.
Cool. And that's why it's so important to have a good caregiver. If you can't be there all the time, to have someone that comes into the home that understands the disease process and
Mhm.
can not only just help with the daily activities of living,
Right.
but it can be the ears and eyes of the family and understanding and uh, have the patience for the person who's going through this, right?
Definitely, and being an advocate for them as well too. Being an
Right.
advocate for them as well. But being a caregiver or even having someone come into the home, make sure they're very observant also, very knowledgeable about everything, not just, as you said, daily living, their activities of daily living, but just paying attention to everything that this person may be going through or may be feeling. If their blood pressure is off, if they haven't eaten in, a few days, or not a few days, but just slowed down on their intake of food. When you notice this person has been eating a lot and then all of a sudden they slow down, pay attention to everything, the
Mhm.
walk, the handshakes, speech, just really pay attention, be very observant.
And then really managing fall risk and other, safety issues. So,
Yes.
Tammy, how do we reach you if, we want to have someone like your firm come and help us take care of our loved one? How would they reach you? What's the best way to reach you? And
So
also, by the way, you can talk to her if you have any questions. She's more than happy to talk to you.
I am definitely more than happy to answer any of your questions, but also we can be reached at www.atouchoflovehc.com, and or our phone number is 209 623-5498. That is my direct line. And if you would like to email me, my email is a little bit long.
Go ahead.
But t.mason@atouchofloveinhomecare.com. And also, I wrote a book on Parkinson's disease.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You can purchase this book on Amazon. It's called Parkinson's Unmasked: The Truth Behind Tremors. It's a really good read, by the way.
That's great. Oh, well, thank you so much, Tammy. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all of you who joined us. It's really important that all of us, especially in the senior professional, stay on top of all kinds of things like this. So thank you for educating us about Parkinson's today, Tammy, and I really appreciate you. And if anybody needs in-home care, please give her a call. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.